of Sokoto State, Aminu Tambuwal, the Rivers State Commissioner for Sports, Christopher Green, said the approval has been cancelled. In another development, the PVC collection ends on Sunday. The National Orientation Agency in Rivers State is asking residents to avoid the last-minute rush. The State Director, Young Ayo Tamino, said this in an interview with our correspondent. A big apologies, unable to reach that particular soundbite. Mr. Young also spoke on the new February 10 deadline by the CBN for the phasing out of the old Naira notes. Speaking further, the NOA State Director called for speedy intervention by the government to end the suffering of Nigerians due to the lingering petrol scarcity in parts of the country. In other news, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says the bimodal voter accreditation system, BVAS, will be deployed tomorrow for mock accreditation of voters for the February 25 and March 11 elections will be reconfigured. National Commissioner and Chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus Okoye, who made this known to our correspondent, appealed to registered voters to participate in the mock accreditation exercise. And moving on, President Muhammadu Buhari is in a closed-door meeting with the APC governors under the aegis of the Progressive Governors Forum. The meeting is being held at the State House in Abuja. Governors present in the meeting are that of Ebonyi, Ogun, Imo, Zamfara, Kebbi, Yobe, Lagos, Kaduna, Kano, Kwara, and Niger. The agenda of the meeting is largely unknown, but might be connected with the Central Bank of Nigeria CBN cash swap policy. Away from that, civil society organizations in Rivers State are kicking against a proposed bill by the Rivers State House of Assembly to register CSOs. Member of civil society organizations at a roundtable discussion yesterday described the bill as an attempt to stifle and reduce the civil space in the state. The Executive Director of We the People, Ken Henshaw, said the bill is contrary to the constitution of the land.
While it says the requirement to register is voluntary, it nonetheless makes it a necessary requirement. This inadvertently means that the failure to register will deny unregistered organizations of government recognition. Only civil society organizations permitted and approved by the state government will be recognized and will function effectively and efficiently in Rivers State. This provision runs contrary to the constitutional provision for the right to free speech, public assembly. Section 33 of the bill goes forward to empower the state governor to appoint the registrar in charge of the registry.
Mr. Henshaw also expressed fears that the registration of CSOs in Rivers State is a move to curtail activities of advocacy and free speech.
Section 31 of the bill gives the registry powers to arbitrarily deregister organizations, to leverage any information contained in an organization's annual report as a basis to remove it from the CSO register. It places sole and arbitrary powers on the registry. The above and several other aspects of the proposed law pose a serious threat to the existence of free operations of CSOs in Rivers State. If passed into law, the bill will only serve the purpose of stifling dissent, intimidating civil society organizations, and curtailing the civic space.
On his part, Courage in Sirimovu said the constitution of the land does not empower the Rivers State House of Assembly to legislate on CSOs issues.
Specifically states that it is the federal government, which is the National Assembly, that has powers on matters of incorporation and regulation of civil society organizations. So the State House of Assembly does not have that power. And if you look closely at the bill, you find out that the interpretation section on civil society organization covers charitable organizations. And if we allow the state to regulate us, that means the civic space will be shrunk.
As you may know, a private bill seeking to harmonize Rivers State CSO's registration in relation to modernizing such laws to align with current practices, streamlining procedures, and eliminating unnecessary registration burdens is expected to be submitted to the Rivers State House of Assembly. Still ahead, EFCC invites 10 banks in Rivers State as new Naira note scarcity persists. Do stay tuned. Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS, have been convicted and sentenced to death by State High Court in Port Harcourt for extrajudicial killing. As you may know, 5 members of the SARS team, ASP Samuel Chibu, Shedrack Ibi, Magus Ogoligo and Emeka, were standing trial for killing Michael Ako and Michael Igwe in the custody for Legiston Recharge Card Igbo Local Government Area 2019. ASP Samuel Chibu and Ogoligo died in custody at the Correctional Center in Port Harcourt, while Shadrach Ibo, Magus Awuri, Elisa continued with. The trial judge, Justice M. Okara, in her judgment found in a judgment Shadrach Ibo, Magus were guilty of conspiracy to murder and acquitted Emeka. The state prosecution spoke to correspondent Emeka Ortuka after judgment.
The court found that they actually were guilty of murdering 2 deceased persons. The court acquitted and discharged the last person, that was Emeka. Because from the findings of the court, the prosecution consent to the last person. From the judgment of the court, the just has been served to the family of the deceased. And that makes me happy. Yes, that at least it will serve as a kind of deterrent, hopefully, to other police officers, and also give some sort of closure to the families of these persons. So I'm happy.
A mother to one of those murdered, Catherine Ako, also spoke.
Kill my son, carry our property. 2011, the court I should forgive them. Let them go and bring those things in the car. If you are carrying those things before me, bring my son. Even if he didn't bring all those properties, bring my son. I'm okay. I thank God. God don't fight. I'm happy. They say that place is good for everybody. They're killing innocent souls, sending them by force to that grave. They already tested. The remaining one, here today, they will test it.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has invited about 10 banks in Rivers State to its office for not loading the redesigned Naira notes in their ATMs. Our correspondent gathered that invitation followed the clampdown operation by the EFCC on commercial banks that are holding and trading with the redesigned Naira notes in the state. As you may know, the Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele said the Apex Bank will collaborate with law enforcement agencies to track erring banks. In business news, some banks have started complying with the CBN's directive to start paying the redesigned notes across the counter. Our correspondent, who visited some banks in Port Harcourt, observed that the banks are paying a maximum of 5,000 naira across the counter. However, some ATMs are still not dispensing cash. In entertainment, Nigerian singer Omale has left many worried and concerned after leaving a cryptic post on social media. Omale on his Instagram story wrote that angels are supposed to fly, but if people don't hear from him in a while, he's somewhere working on his wings. In sports, Manchester United have launched an internal investigation to decide the future of Mason Greenwood after attempted rape and assault charges against him were dropped. The England striker was arrested in 2022 over the alleged rape and assault of a young woman.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
Kenya's former president Uhuru Kenyatta has had his security details significantly cut back as relations with his successor Williams Ruto sour over calls for tax scrutiny on the Kenyatta's family's vast wealth. The head of police told journalists that the changes were guided by police regulations on the security of a retired president. Media reports say that Mr. Kenyatta's security of 96 elite officers has been reduced to 25, while that of the former First Lady has 5. Basically, that's it here on the news this afternoon. But before we go, here's a quick look at the major stories. Cabinet Wike has defended the reversal of stadium approval for the PDP presidential campaign rally in the state. We told you President Buhari is in a closed-door meeting with APC governors. CSO in Rivers State have kicked against a bill to regulate its activities. From the foreign scene you heard, Kenya has called back on the security of former President Kenyatta. The news was edited by Martha Okere. Cloudy weather is expected in Port Harcourt this afternoon. Collect your PVC and vote. Your vote is your voice. I am Carl Orakwe. Goodbye.